Tekken 8 Season 2 has made a lot of concerning balance changes to the game, and this has a majority of the Tekken fanbase worried about its future. One of these changes discussed in my last video was the overwhelming amount of enforced 50-50 gameplay by almost every character in the game. However, this game suffers from way more issues other than just 50-50 gameplay, and this is what I wanted to cover in this video as well. Character weaknesses and character identity. So let's first start this off with Kazuya Mishima. So in terms of archetype, Kazuya has always been heavy space control, being a Mishima, insane punishment, as well as a very strong Oki game with the Hell Sweep, pseudo mix-up as well with the Hell Sweep, and forward 3. So now, prior to Tekken 8, when going into a Kazuya matchup, you always had to know which direction you have to step to beat that Hell Sweep. It's always been sidestep left. Sidestep left beats both forward 3 as well as the Hell Sweep. So this was a huge weakness to Kazuya's Hell Sweep game in the forward 3 mix-up. The Kazuya player had to use tools to overcome this weakness or to cover this weakness. To do that, they were given two different moves. So Outstanding 3 is a nice mid-safe homing move. You can always use this in the wave dash to track them if they stepped, as well as back 4. This one is faster than Outstanding 3, but it's a high. So all these moves came with downsides as well. Outstanding 3 being slow, so sometimes you would always like sidestep and block, or sidestep duck and block fast enough to actually recover in time to block the Outstanding 3 or the wave 3. Then as for the back 4 high, of course being a high, if you sidestep ducked, you would easily counter this option. So the Kazuya player as well as the opponent had to play around this, right? Are they gonna eat the 50-50 mix-up? Are they gonna move around? Like, it was all pure mind games. Now over time, this has become less and less of a counterplay game because of how much Namco is patching out Kazuya's weakness. To explain more on this source, in Tekken 8, Kazuya was given forward 2, a demon pole. Previously this only belonged to Jin and Devil Jin, but in Tekken 8 it was given to Kazuya. Now demon pole on its own, forward 2 is quite linear. It's easily stepped both left and right, so at first it might seem bad. However, the thing is, if you wave dash, if you do a deep wave dash, you easily realign yourself with the opponent. So now you don't really have to play around the whole sidestep duck, sidestep, guessing for the Hell Sweep. You just have to take the guess. So Kazuya is wave dashing in your face. Sidestep is not really that strong of an option anymore because of Demon Pole. This was also further enhanced by the introduction of Up Forward 1 in Season 2. Up Forward 1 is a new -7 mid on block that tracks both sides, basically homing as well. Now at first glance it seems very bad, right? So much pushback and it comes out really slow. However, when Kazuya goes into hit, these moves get super buffed. Does some really good damage, knocks down at the perfect range for Kazuya to start his 50-50 Hell Sweep game again. They just gave him a homing move that covers all the weaknesses Kazuya had to his 50-50 pseudo mix-up game plan with the Hell Sweep. Another example is Hwoarang. So Hwoarang has also had a major fix to one of his biggest weaknesses. To keep things as simple as possible, Hwoarang has been given a new move, down 3+4. This is a 21 frame fast homing low that takes you into Flamingo and is only -14 on block. -14 homing low that takes you into Flamingo. 21 frames, so it's unreactable. Now if you don't understand why this is a huge issue, let me explain. Hwoarang's biggest weakness has always been Flamingo. He has to go into Flamingo to get his offense going, get in Flamingo, and then open up the blender, open up the mix-up game. But Hwoarang players had to work to go into Flamingo. You could just not go into Flamingo for free. You had to do like mix-up stuff into Flamingo. So stuff like down 3-4, which is a low high. You could duck it and launch punish it or sidestep it as well. Stuff like jabs into Flamingo, which is not real. You can jab interrupt him. You had to play with jabs into forward 3 as a string, 1 to forward 3. He had down back 4 into Flamingo pressure, but again you could move around low parry as well. As a mix-up, he also had the just frame skyrocket, which is a safe mid launcher as well. To keep things as simple as possible, you played around Hwoarang's Just Frame Skyrocket and his down 3-4. Like, he would use down 3-4 to go into Flamingo and open up the blender, and then Just Frame Skyrocket if you ducked, right? So the best option you had to beat both of these options is sidestep to the direction Hwoarang's belly is facing. That's always been the counterplay to Hwoarang gameplay. So to mitigate this, Hwoarang players had to use a lot of down forward 4, a very nice chunky homing move, which has a huge payoff if you land this on hit. I think it's +8, right? So this is what Hwoarang players played around. You had to earn that Flamingo stance, not just for free. You had to earn it by throwing out stuff that can be counterplayed to some extent. But now with down 3+4, this just throws everything out of the fucking window. You just can't do anything. It's either you duck or you block. You duck or you block, and it does have that just frame, bro, and that shit launches for like a shitload of damage. So Hwoarang is a very strong character right now, and I don't even know why he needed this. I think Hwoarang was a very strong character prior to this. He was in a very good state. His Flamingo pressure was kind of weak to sidestep as well, but they gave him that stance down for that like huge ass homing mid from like 3 freaking miles away. Like, it was so strong. But now they've doubled down on patching this character's weaknesses by introducing that down 3+4, and this is something that's concerning. Like, it's something we're seeing across so many other characters in the game right now. And for my last example, let's take a look at Devojin. So I want to talk about Devojin's Morning Crow because it got a huge buff. Previously, before Season 2, Morning Crow was mostly used as a pressure tool. You had that Morning Crow 2, is it Morning Crow 1 or 2 I believe, the huge spike that was super plus, I think it was +8, very very strong. And you only had the mix up with the homing mid, but the homing mid was unsafe. I think it was Morning Crow 2 for the mid, right? Mid or just the mid itself. The mid was buffed, it's now safe. The first part of the double mid, the homing, is now safe. So it was just basically used for pressure. It was not a mix-up stance until Season 2. This also goes back to the whole 50-50 thing, but like for me, in terms of Devojin, he's just like Kazuya to some extent in terms of his archetype. Of course, he's a Mishima, strong punishment, but unlike Kazuya, he played mostly for the launching Hell Sweep, right? That was the most scary thing about Devojin. It's the only thing you had to worry in terms of what was very scary about the character. Until Morning Crow got massively buffed. So they made Morning Crow to have an unbreakable grab. It only does 12 damage while not in hit, but when it goes into hit, it's basically his old hit smash from Morning Crow, but he can do it multiple times. So now when you're in a plus frame situation, you have to guess between an unblockable high and this huge ass mid that knocks down for a guaranteed follow-up. So again, they're just patching out something that made the character unique. Like, I always questioned why they had a character like Devojin who had something so unique in terms of Morning Crow, had no strong mix up to it. Like, after you blocked Devojin's Devojin's hit smash, oh my god, rip Rage Drive. You didn't really have to worry about an incoming mix-up afterwards. It was very good. But now he does have that unbreakable grab, throws that out of the window. So again, it's about ruining character identity and really giving characters something that they don't actually need in the game to complement their strength or their archetype. Now, like I said, this is like a widespread issue amongst a lot of characters in the game right now. I just gave these 3 as basic examples. There are like way more characters. Like, why does Bran have a full crouch mix up now? You have to guess after hit engager between a full crouch low and an orbital. Like, you legit just have to guess. You can't really do anything unless you risk your life and mash. We can talk about King. Like, why is King a grappler but has one of the best mix-up stances in the game, which actually don't involve a throw mix-up, being a grappler? That doesn't make sense. The throw, he does have a throw from the run, the Jaguar dash, but it's reactable, right? Unless you just mess up the timing, maybe like delay the grab, but overall it's reactable. It's mostly between the launching elbow and the low. We can talk about Shaheen. I don't even know what Namco want Shaheen to be anymore at this point. I still think the character was a mistake. Honestly, when he came in Tekken 7, it was just a character that had all the basic good tools on one character, like a down forward 2, nice general low, decent mids, a slide. It just felt like a different variation of Law. We already had Law in the game doing what Shaheen did, but now in Tekken 8, like, he has plus frames, he has good laws. Like, his archetype doesn't even revolve, or his identity doesn't even revolve around the slide anymore. Like, a legit Shaheen can play without slide and still cook, right? So Namco just don't know where to take most of these characters in the game. So this is what's really another frustrating thing about Season 2. We talked about 50-50s last time, but now it's like character identity. Character weaknesses are being patched out. Characters' archetypes are being changed and making everyone homogeneous, basically doing the same thing, and it's just killing what we love so much about Tekken and its unique character roster. Like, fighting Hwoarang for me used to be fun. The biggest rival I had in Tekken 7 was a Hwoarang player. Doesn't play Tekken 8 as much, but he played Hwoarang. We used to have like death matches for hours, and for me it was fun dealing with down 3-4 and the just free mix-up, right? Like sidestep, you know, low parrying. But now seeing that down 3+4, it's like, like why? You know, like why? So yeah, there are a lot of characters that have just been patched out. Spoke about Laz in my last video. Leroy has that new sidestep 3+4. It's like, bro, it's crazy. So when people talk about stuff like identity in Season 2 right now, it's not far-fetched, guys. These things are really happening. The weaknesses are being patched out. It's very difficult to fight a character and think, okay, I have to keep on stepping left against this character. It just doesn't work like that anymore for most of the roster on the cast, and that's the big problem. This will just double down if Namco keep introducing these big moves, you know, massive homing, plus free mids and stuff like that. They need to tone it down. But anyway, I really hope I've given you guys a visual representation of what it means when they say character identity is being ruined in Tekken 8. I hope it makes sense. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's far-fetched? Are people just pissed about the game, and does this not have any merit? Let me know your thoughts as usual. You guys have been awesome. I love the engagement. It's just nice scrolling down the comments and seeing a lot of people agree with me. I know we all have different opinions, but we just love the game. At the end of the day, we just love the game and wanna see the game do good and be in a better state. So yeah, talk to your boy. Yeah, it's a hard time to be Tekken fanboys. This is a dark time. These are dark times. So yeah, I know, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. If you made this far, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. And as usual, may the frame data be ever in your favor. GG.